Hey everyone, I am late again. Okay, so one of these days I'm going to get my nails done. Look at that hot mess. And I'm going to get my time better allocated. And I'm going to jump back to having morning coffee with Joanne and Kath and JMH and you, of course, D. I don't even know if D likes coffee. Anyway, that's not to do with this. This video is bookmarks. Fabric bookmarks. And these were inspired by Julie at Camellia Crafts. She was making some with stickers, and she took the shine off the stickers with matte medium. And I did use matte medium on these, Julie. As soon as I saw your video, Amazon ordered. And I do like it. I got to say, this is probably my most favorite way of doing it. Um, I guess, and I had in my head that it would completely, and honestly, it almost does. It would completely take away the fact that it's a sticker. But you can still, if you really are looking for it, I mean, this is the best method, definitely, the matte medium. And I'm not going to show you in this video how to do it because Julie has one, a complete tutorial on it, Camellia Crafts. I will link it below. This is some of the upholstery fabric. Doesn't it make a neat, when you pull it, it really frays out good. This one I stamped and then colored with some colored pencils. I thought that turned out good. And this is some of the feed sack. And the feed sack had stains, which it was clean. I got this from Debbie Ham, 3 Hens and a Chick. That is an online sale. And look, I stamped it there. And I loved the stains, so of course I had to put them on one. And I just put a little bow pin with a button on each of them, except this one, because I didn't think it needed it with these frilly things. These buttons are ones that I colored with alcohol ink. They were just plain white buttons. I put them in a bag with alcohol ink, mush them around just a couple drops, makes them very pretty. This one also is one that I stamped and then used colored pencils. Another feed sack. Isn't that beautiful? And this one, look at this. Isn't this goodness? This is from, I love it. Gosh, she does such a beautiful job. This is from Juanette's Crafting Corner, and she is on Etsy. I will link her shop below as well. But I love this. It comes in strips, and she has different colors, but it comes in strips like this. Aren't they cool? Look at them. Oh, I just thought they were gorgeous. Now, something I'll tell you about Juanette's shop. She's actually in, I think, Arizona. Yes, Arizona. But, and it may be fixed now, but I want to forewarn you, if you go there and you purchase from her and the freight is like astronomical, it is not correct. She will refund you the difference. She may have it fixed now, but she was going to get in contact with Etsy and do all the things, but for some reason it just kept messing her stuff up. And just like on these little things, it charged me $28 freight. But she gave it, I don't even know, 20 some of it back. It was a whole big bunch. It was just barely any freight when Juanette was done. And it was quick. As soon as I rang it up, she processed the order. She saw it. She fixed it. She was wonderful. So again, I will put her link below. And if you want, I can put Debbie Ham's. I don't know if she has any more of this feed sack, but I love this material. Love it. It's actually feed sack. And I don't know the history of it, but it's something, I don't know. I don't know. I don't want to tell you a big bunch of garbage and it just not be true, but I have it in my head. They took feed sacks and turned it into fabric, like stamped it. that could all be made up. So we'll have to look up what the history of bead sacks is, but that's what those are. Love them. So today I'm not going to use any stamps, or I mean any stickers, because I don't want to wait for it to dry and all that. I just want to show you how I've made some of these, that you can do it without stickers, you can do it without stamps, because this one isn't, I think I said I stamped it, but I didn't. This was, I hand drew this. I just drew these flowers. You can tell now that you look at it that it's a mess. I just drew that and did some squiggles and marking. I did sew around it, and I did stamp with some numbers in here, but none of that is necessary. I mean, you can decorate this up however you want with just colored pencils, and that's what I did. So I'm just going to show you quickly how I did the fabric part. I love these, and I'm going to be making more. So, and do you love this? This is the edge. This is the frayed edge of a book, like this music page. I love that. Loved it. So I kept it in there. He is Lord. I love that too. So I've done them different ways. I kept the edging. I don't know what this one is. Probably nothing. I thought I kept some edging on all of them, but I guess I didn't. Oh, I know what it was. On this one, after I colored the side, I folded this part in, and this was, see all these little circles? That was part of this. And I just circled them and drew around it and doodled. But I'll do it again, and it leaves such a cool marking on there. These are the edge of the book page. Love that raggedy edge. So I folded mine on the out where it would show. You don't have to do that. Julie doesn't do that. Hers are really pretty. Mine are, of course, I had to grunge them up. And this one also has that pulled edge. But once you glue it down and sew, I mean, it's just the look of it. It's not like it's going to come up and fray off. I guess it could if you didn't have it down real good. But also, I was going to say, I'm not done with these. I have so many more ways I want to try. I want to emboss some of them with embossing powders and just through the embossing machine. I haven't tried any of those yet. I want to do some that are rustic and rusty looking, and just so many different things that I want to do with these. And so, but I was going to show you real quick an easy way to do them. And again, you don't have to have all the things, just draw on them. But I was going to say, in a different video, someone told me that this tear ruler I had, she said, you do know that is you can run that through your embossing machine. That's a die. It will cut. I did not know that. And she was right as rain. Look at that. So there is a ruler. And I don't know if you can see all the little numbers in there, but it does emboss those too. I don't know if I didn't have it tight enough, or if I'm really not sure how to make that stand out better. But I love that. So thank you to the sweet viewer that told me this is a die. So there's 3 of them. They come in a set. I got them off of Amazon. I'm not trying to sell them to you. I just thought it was really cool that they're all dies too. And they are in my Amazon shop. Or, yeah, Amazon favorite thing. Okay, so I've got 3 different sizes of book page here. 3 different colors. Thought I would just, this is such a great mass make. I'm serious. I love this. I'm going to fold mine just a little bit differently than Julie did, but it all works. It's your preference. The only reason I'm folding it different is I like my rough edge to show. She folded hers in where it doesn't. Okay, and I was trying to figure if there was a way I could fold that where it said, but I don't think I can, not and do it correctly, because it's going to, okay, so I'll do it this way. So I fold it in half, and if I have a jagged edge or these things, I didn't go completely half. I left it just a little bit so that when I do fold it, I'll have a place to glue that down. So I've folded it in half now. And now we're just going to fold over to meet that half, a little short of the half. And let's go ahead and and glue down. And I tried not gluing each of the sections on one of them just to see, and it really does need to be glued for firmness. They're just stiffer, and they just seem stronger this way. And I don't know. I think it needs to be glued. But my own personal preference, but you might try it, see what you think of it. Maybe you don't think it needs to be glued. And I also found the perfect size that I like, because, you know, most books that I make are 8.5 tall. So these, I think, ended up being right at 8. Well, no, they're about 7.5. My actual bookmark part, the paper part, yes, is 7.5. And I found that was a good size for me. I liked that. Okay, so I'm going to let that one dry, and then I'll trim it down. Isn't this a great mass make? I mean, seriously, you can just do it in such steps here that you fold. And I'm going to make that a little short so that when I ink that rugged edge, it shows. Fold my half in. Just a little bit short. Need my glue book. I don't know what it did. Oh, here it is. There's a sticker I was intending on using some point. And you could go ahead and fold it all, which is probably easiest, and then go back and glue. Just love this, Julie. Thank you for the inspiration. And I'm going to ink this one before I glue it down. This one you don't have to, because it's the little things. But for the edges, rugged edges, I do ink that before I glue it down. That's a little too straight. I'm going to go ahead and rip out a chunk of that. Needed it just a little more jagged for my liking. And then glue this one down. I need a longer glue book, don't I? I'm running off the edge here. And I'm going to sew this so I don't get too picky with it. But if you weren't going to sew, you'd probably want to glue a little better than I am. And I'm going to fold that over where it's just short. And I'm going to go ahead and fold this one and then glue it to see which is a little bit faster. If you were, yeah, this is faster, definitely. And then ink the edge. Now we're going to glue it. And these are so fast and so fun. Well, this part is fast. My decorating part, that's not so fast because I tend to start thinking about it too much. And all these different options come in my head. So many ways to do this. Okay, doesn't that look cool? It looks like a burn edge. I love that. Okay, so we have 3 of them folded and done right now. So I'm going to cut them down to the size that I like. I'm just going to mark. That one's perfect. Doesn't even need... But I am going to take my decal edge scissors here and just barely get that edge. I don't want to cut any length really off. I just want to add the decal edge to it. This one is just at 8 inches, so I'm just going to take a little bit off the top and the bottom to bring it down to 7.5. And you don't have to have them at 7.5. You can have them whatever length you want. I just liked that length. And I don't remember how long Julie's was. Julia. It's Julia. Well, I'll be darned. Isn't that a shame? I watch her all the time, and now I can't remember which it is. And whichever I'm saying wrong, I so apologize. I think it's Julie. I've lost my mind. Okay, so that right there. And this one's a little bit wider than my other ones, but that's okay. It doesn't matter. So, I'm just going to ink these real quick. And how I inked this one with that edging, I just did it like this so that it stood out better. But if you wanted to leave the circles, and I'm going to do one like that just to show you. But I'm going to ink around these first, and then I'll show you the other version I was talking about for this one. Okay, I'm not sure if you could tell because I'm sure I speeded that up. But I only inked one side because this side's going to have my fabric. I also added some ink to this one because it's really white. This one I didn't because it's really pretty, so I just inked around the edge. But I wanted to glue another one like this to show you just an option that you might like if you were using paper with the ruffled edges. And I hate to keep harping on this, but I'm pretty sure it's Julie. And I tell you what, I really do watch her all the time. Have you ever done that? I mean, there's been times I forgot my own stinking phone number. Seriously, had to look it up. Couldn't, and I use that all the time. So, just saying it's not unusual for me to forget something that I do all the time. Okay, so instead of gluing it, you could glue it up into this one here. But I don't. I go ahead and do this inking. And if they tear, it doesn't matter. Just rough it. Rough it up through there. Because I like them to be all crumpled up anyway. And then see, you get the really cool dots. So you could actually glue that on the inside, and then you would have this notebook look on the outside. I like that too. So let's do one like that. And then I'm going to cut this one down, and then I'll glue it. Okay, so here are our, whoops, that's my ruler, our 4 that we've done. And then now comes your decorating, however you want to decorate it. And I think, let's see, I think for this one, or one of these, I want to use this piece of, and it's just the perfect fit for that one. So I'll do this one right here. This piece of bead sack. It just happened to be a piece that was left, and it's perfect for this. So I'm going to use it. Just like that. So, and the reason I am saying that first, as I was thinking, maybe when I stamp, I'll use some colors that are in this. So I'm going to pull out some red and pink and yellow. So I tried to get some colors that I thought were in this. The blue and the red. And I think that's just what I'm going to stamp with on the front. And again, you don't have to stamp. I like to stamp. And so that's the route I'm going to take. But again, not necessary to do this part. Need to have me a stamp book under here, don't I? Get all those good extras. This is just some numbers, but I think I'm going to use red and do some of these numbers. I have some little flowers here that I haven't even used. I think I'll make some orange flowers. So we've got paint, numbers, and flowers. I try to make this as much sense as I can. I think yous know that's not true. Oh, that's so pretty. I love that orange. That's a pretty orange. I'm going to color in with my colored pencils some of that flower just to give it a, you know, a more vibrant look than this right here. That doesn't really look like much of an orange, but I'm going to go back, pick out something a little bitter. Right now I'm just laying down some color underneath. And as you can tell, I'm not being very precise on getting all of the things, to making sure I'm getting all of the spots. I'm just coloring right now. I'm not being precise. I'm just putting down some color. This time I'm kind of making sure that I'm getting all of the areas. And I'm going to come in with a little bit of red just to give it a little bit more color. None of this is necessary. It's just showing you that you can take the easiest things like your colored pencils and make something really pretty. You don't have to have expensive things to make pretty. And I think I've mentioned her before, the Creative Cove. She gives awesome tutorials and ideas on how to use color. And she does a lot of watercoloring. Speaking of watercolor, 7 Cottage Lane. You know, I always try to give you ideas of people to watch that inspire. And JMH has 7 Cottage Lane, and she's been doing some watercoloring that is gorgeous. So if you need some inspiration, and that's on Instagram. Sorry, should have said that. Do you like that? How it's given that? Wow, that's kind of cool. I like that. But I like to give you different people. I think it's fun to watch different people to get different inspiration. And again, even if it's not your style, you can still, because Julie at Camellia Crafts, she does all kinds of pretty things. You know, I don't think she does a lot of grungy, not to the extent I think that Christy doesn't know when to stop, but, and I love the things that she does. She inspires me all the time, just like Gail. Oh, love watching her stuff. So just layer your colors and you'll come up with something really pretty like that. And then I think that's going to go nicely with our fabric. So now let's go on with that. And I wasn't supposed to do all of that. I told you that I would do it really quickly where you didn't have to, basically we were just learning how to put on our fabric. And I do use my glue stick on the fabric. Again, I know that glue stick is not going to hold forever on fabric, but it does hold pretty good. And especially since I'm going to sew around it, I think that it just holds perfectly fine for what I'm doing. And you can do this either way. I like for the colored side to be on the back so that, you know, they can see that. And you know what I'm missing? Yes, a number. And then another thing I like to do on these is take a little bit of lace. And I put it right in between my fabric and whatever kind of paper I'm using. And I just kind of hold that. You can glue it, but I just kind of hold it until I sew. And then I just sew right across it so that it holds that little tab in there. Just like that. And then I'm thinking, I've been doing, oh, I know what I want to use. I think I'll use a little bit of this cheesecloth. Something at the top. So I'll sew it like that. So that one's done. And I'm going to just lay this one to the side until we get done with one more. I at least want to do one more, because I was really wanting to make a rusty looking one. So this one's got good color to it. And I've done this before, but I really like doing it. And that is, I used rusty hinge, and actually had more than that here. Rusty hinge and salvage patina. And I've already stuck, for one, the wrong color in there. I've already got some good vintage down here where I've inked around the edges. I'm just random doing that. And I'm going to come back with my salvage patina and bring that in there too. Just to give it a different look. And I may go ahead and do this one that way too. Or this one. Let's do this one. And I know that this color that I'm about to add doesn't have any, well, it might actually. I started to say it doesn't have anything to do with rust, but isn't it funny how you go places and you see things? I saw a drain spout when I took Hayden to therapy. I saw a drain spout and it had, oh gosh, it was so pretty. It had the patina and you know, the rusty bits, and I thought, wow, I've lost my mind, because that drain spout is probably the prettiest thing I have seen today. It just looks so good. I'm gonna put a little bit of this green in here. I don't know that it really belongs, but as you all said, if it makes me happy, then it belongs there, right? If it makes you happy when you're crafting and you like it, then leave it. And this is, I don't know what this is. I got it at the secondhand store. Anna Griffin olive green is what it is. Got it a long time ago and I never used it, but I found it today and I thought, ooh, that's really pretty. Okay, so we got two more there. And I think that I'm just going to do some random stamping with my vintage sepia. Also like stamping a number at the top. Also have been stamping numbers on my fabric. I don't think I showed you that. I need to show you that. It's another idea for you. Oh, yeah, I did. I showed you the one with the little flower pots, but on some of these, I did a number. This one, I stamped little numbers. So that's just another thing you can add to it. Now I think what I'm going to do is I'm going to stencil a little bit of coffee on here. I like to use my stays on for the coffee because I also like to use it on my mailers and I don't have to worry about it coming off. I'm just holding both of them together so that it gets them both, and they'll both have like random, you know what I mean? Like half's going to be on one and half on the other. This one you can see really good. I didn't get this one very good, so I'm going to do it some more. There it is. That looks better. Ooh, I need one of these big old splashes. Right there. There we go. Getting carried away with my coffee staining, ain't I? I just love that. I don't know that I could ever get tired of that look. Probably will, but not today. Okay, so really, we're going to find some pretty fabric to sew that on. There's not a whole lot you have to do with it. We could put a little label on it if you want to. You know, another thing that we could put on here, I have some vintage stamps. That might look kind of neat. And, you know, just let your imagination go crazy here. Do whatever you want to do on these. Maybe I'll put more than one stamp. All right. So what do you think? Those look kind of neat, huh? Okay, so now I've got to do one more little thing. And we're going to put some fabric on the back of these. Get out my number here. I feel like this is missing something. We'll put on 3 on this one. Father, Son, and the Holy Ghost. There we go. What do you think? Does that look okay? And then I want to do a little bit more texture. Okay, so I've decided for this one, I wanted to use the screen fabric. So I'm just going to glue that down with my glue stick. Turn it over, make sure I've got everything showing good like I want to. And straight. I like that. Then I got a piece of tea-dyed muslin here. Did last summer. I think I'll use that for this one. Okay. Now, I don't know if I want to put what I want to put on the top of these. Now, this one, I just picked up this piece. Is that too yellow? If I put some cheesecloth in it, will it look okay? Or is it too... Need to go on one like this. Okay, so I think I want to put this... Ooh, turn it around where the green shows a little bit. Put that down in there like that. A little piece isn't very even. There we go. Down there like that. I'm thinking maybe a piece of this for the top of the other one that's like doesn't have a whole lot of color. So I'm going to sew these, the 3 of them, and I will be right back. Yay, I love them. Okay, I'll be right back. Okay, so I decided on this one. I put one of my stamped pieces at the top that says Just Believe, because I think I want to take one of my little rusty safety pins and Maybe one of these little rusted pieces. Let's see what they got. It says you just believe. How about that? We'll do something like that. And then I'll just pin it right on the top like that. I like that one. Okay, so there's one of them. And then I thought since I'd done the rusty thing, I was going to do something like that on this one too. I don't know. Maybe these pieces are too big. I kind of think they are. But I could always go through it with just my safety pin again. Rusted safety pin. And I could always hang something on it later. If I decide to do that, I may just leave it as it is. You know what's a good idea? Hold on. I had a little, well, I have this piece. That wouldn't be bad. Oh, I have little, I thought I had something with a little hoop on it, you know, where I could hang it. I think I'm going to use a ball pin. I don't know if I have any rusted ball pins. Yep, I do. They always make me nervous because sometimes rusting them makes them not very sturdy anymore. So that's why I don't sell those in my shop. But this one seems like he's in good shape, so I'm going to just run him through there. So there are those two. And then for our pretty, here I think we'll just do a ball pin with a button. Let's do, see what kind of buttons we have in here. That's a good one. It's a nice flat one. That on there. And then I just run it through my little lace at the top. And there we go. So we have 3 really cute bookmarks. Do you like them? I love them. And like I say, I'm going to end up putting some in my shop because I'm addicted to these. I don't know if I'm going to be able to stop making them anytime soon. But I hope that you like these and draw inspiration. And like I say, there's so many more ways, so many more different kind of papers you can use. Doesn't have to be music or book page. You could use newspaper, jelly print paper. Gosh, I don't know. I can't list all the papers, but you know, there are lots and lots of ways to do these. And Julie, thanks for the inspiration. I hope you guys love these as much as I do. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time. Bye.